What's up, everybody? Moss Logic here, and welcome to another episode of Project Bedrock. Today, we do something for the sole purpose of grinding and curiosity, and I'm a bit curious what the end island will look like with no obsidian pillars. So let's go to the end and find out. Alright, so here we are on top of our first pillar. Let's go to a time lapse and watch me take all these down. So of course by this time I realized that trying to fly and land on this low pillar was just a waste of time and a waste of rockets. So I decided to pillar up. With end stone. Anyways, let's continue. Don't judge. Hey, welcome back, and that only took a few days. Not sure what I'll do with all this obsidian, but I'm sure my server mates might have some use for it. Now that we got that out of the way, let's fix this nether tunnel. So one of the things I really like to do is to theme my nether tunnel and nether portal like some of the other members of Project Bedrock, where they match the vibe of their base with their tunnels and the entrances to their nether portals. So the problem was that I was sharing a tunnel with the mesa biome, and I'll show you that in a minute here, but kind of wanted to show you some of the other members' tunnels, and if you haven't seen their bases yet, definitely subscribe to their channels and check it out. But you can see how Dark Knight's tunnel is themed, and that will give you a good idea of what her base looks like. And over here is Puggy's. He's kind of got the mountain cottage, and that really matches the tunnel. Actually matches the area of his base. This is RS's. I think it's something that he's still working on. I don't know what theme that is. Sorry, but I know he's been working on that one. He's got more going on in there. And this is Gigi's nether portal, and you could tell by the sign, but I could tell by the actual build design. And this is the marketplace, or the shopping district, whichever you want to call it. This right here is Renee's, and she's got some things going on with this one that you can't see. Let's put it this way, I got lost in there, so I have to I'll maybe show you another time. This is Death Skull Pain, or as we call him, DSP for short, and he has got this Japanese village, and you can see how all the way through the tunnel it's totally themed. And if you haven't seen his base yet, I can tell you that you get a good idea of what his base is going to look like from that tunnel. And mine, well, yeah, we're still working on this one, but we're going to get there. But here is the mesa biome that Gigi so graciously moved for us, so that way we could work on our own. But originally I was sharing it with it, and so I couldn't come up with my own theme. I had to have my tunnel kind of halfway down there, and you know, I wasn't able to really make a theme for it. So that's what we're going to do now. We now have a new start, and we'll be able to get a theme and get the vibe of our base. So let's get started on that. Okay, so I did a few things off camera. I was trying to think of the design and kind of put it together, and this is what we got. So this is kind of like the beginning of the concept, and we've got the flower to match the base, of course, the center of the flower that is made with the sculk block, and I think that's looking really good. I'm liking this. It definitely matches the base vibe, and kind of like how DSP did, we're gonna bring that theme all the way through the tunnel here. So we started with just a couple of the nether type fungus trees, I guess, if you want to call them that. The wart, nether wart blocks, and the stems, and you know what I mean, the crimson and the, I guess, cyan, maybe. I'm trying to think what color. Bluish, whatever. Anyways. You know what I mean, the warp stuff and the crimson stuff. So we'll make these custom trees all the way down the hallway here. And yeah, warped wart and nether wart. Yeah, I always get that all messed up. Anyways, we got these custom trees that match the vibe of the base, and we'll extend that look all the way through the tunnel, all the way to the actual portal. So we've got this. We're going to have to take all this netherrack out and replace it with sculk. And here is what I originally had. And like I said, I didn't really think much about it. I just threw in a bunch of the, you know, wart varieties, warp, and nether wart. The wart varieties. Words. Very difficult. Can't do it. Anyways. So, yeah, this just didn't work for me. So, now that I got my own tunnel, and now I can get a little bit more creative with it, I think we got some ideas, and we'll put some skulk vein. We got some skulk veins here, and that also helps with mob proofing the area too. So like on the flat blocks, we want to have mobs spawning on them. The same with at the entrance. I actually found a piglin just waiting for me when I came out of my tunnel. So anyhow, let's go ahead and get started with that, and we'll show you the process here. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to remove this netherrack to make room for the skulk and to widen up the tunnel a little bit. So here we are. Some people call this the fun part. And we sped up a little bit. So now we're adding in the skulk walls. And Dark Knight Fury hit me up. And remember all that obsidian that I'd had from taking down the End Pillars? Well, she needed some. So she offered some diamonds. And also needed a stack of TNT. So I thought I'd oblige. Help her out a little bit. Give her some resources so she could go ahead and take care of a little project that she's working on. So yeah, there you go. Should have probably turned on voice chat, but we're just like kind of meeting up for a minute here and then heading back to work on the other tunnel. Okay. I said 3 diamonds. Sorry, I had to cut out some of the chat there. And there you go. You can have all those back. All right, see ya. So I had to edit some of this out because there was some chat. Anyhow. Let's get back to work here. We'll go ahead and put these diamonds away. And back to work on another tunnel. Okay, so we need to go ahead and resize this nether portal. So went ahead and ripped that out, added in the new obsidian for it. And spaced it out. Threw in some of the skulk. And time to light her up. All right. New nether portal in place. So, and as you can see, we made some progress here. We got most of the skulk in, and now we just need to get more skulk blocks in here. And then we can start working on the fun part. And that is getting all those custom nether trees in there. If you want to call them trees, fungus trees, whatever we call them. All right, now that we're done with all that, we can get these trees in. Hey, what you looking at, buddy? Ah, you mad? Ah, that should take care of him. Anyways, let's get these trees in place. We don't have time to play with that in a minute. So, this is the fun part. Getting all the little custom nether tree fungus things in. And this will definitely create a great vibe for this tunnel. And we're going to add a couple skulk sensors in there just for some added extra ambience. Not only the sound, but also they light up as you go through the tunnel. Think about adding a couple more of those. All right, we're getting more in these warp varieties. The different warp varieties. Thinking also that I might put in some of those vines as well. The blue vines and the red hanging vines. They'll definitely add to this, but we'll have to work on that later. So yeah, getting these custom trees and continuing that vibe. I think it's working out really well. Starting to really come together. I think once we're able to step back and look at it, I think that's when we'll be able to see everything working as planned. We got a few more details we'll go ahead and put these shriekers in here. That way when you get near the tunnel, be able to get a little sound effects. And yeah, we're just about there. We need to go ahead and redo the tile of this hallway. Just would rather have the darker tile. I think it's gonna fit a little bit more with the style. So I came up with this little pattern. Just the two varieties of polished blackstone slabs. And I think we're just about done. And we're back, and we have completed the Nether tunnel. Man, this has really been a long time coming. I'm really excited about this one. So, as we've seen before, I have created the front to match the base, and as you go through, I've got the custom warp variety trees, so the nether wart block and the wart, and I'm always I'm gonna munch that up every single time. So I also added the weeping vines, and I added them. I was just gonna add them to the crimson trees. I'm just gonna call them crimson trees, and I'll just call these warp trees. So how about that? So I added them to the warp trees too. I'm not sure if I like it. So if anybody has an opinion on that, please comment below and let me know. I'd be interested to see what others' opinions are on that. But as you go through, and it's got this like almost like a forest vibe. I also redid the floor because I wanted it darker, and I didn't want it as busy as the checkerboard pattern that's out here, just to keep the focus on the rest of the tunnel. But we added a little bit of pattern to break it up, so that's not just all one type of brick. So we got the polished blackstone slab and the polished brick blackstone slab. And as we go through here, we added these skulk sensors. So as you walk through, they light up, and I'm thinking about adding a couple more. I think it'd be kind of cool. Might be like, I almost want to overdo it, just because as you walk through, it'd be cool to see these things just light up like one after the other. So might like bunch them up. And then we got the actual portal that we redesigned, and I got it to obviously be the size of the tunnel. I like to extend out so you don't see the obsidian. And then I also added in the screechers on each side, so you know, stereo. Alright, it's gotta be stereo. Anyhow, we also put some skulk veins in other areas just to add a little bit of texture, and we put it on top of the open blocks here, so that way they're not going to be spawning mobs. And threw a couple on the trees to make it look like the skulk has kind of spread throughout. So I'm, as I mentioned before, super happy with this. This is way better than just having some wart and warp blocks randomly placed inside the tunnel. So with that, I think we're going to call it an episode. I hope you enjoyed and would like to see you again next time. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you think of this build, and you know, if there's any suggestions on what we could do next. And I know one of the things I'm definitely going to be working on is the mini game, because we need to get that going. Seriously. I don't want to be like the only one to not have my mini game finished when we start doing games and stuff. So we'll definitely get a jump on that, and until the next one, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.